back with you live from the LinkedIn Hub, and with us is Jean Liebel. I pronounced it right this time?
You got it.
Okay. Co-founder and product manager at Work & Co. So, you guys, I've spoken to a lot of marketers and advertising people over the past few days, but you guys definitely have a different approach. You're in the business of creating digital products.
Right.
And what we were talking about, which I think is interesting, is your kind of approach to it, or the way you look at it in terms of brand building. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So we don't really do advertising, actually. I know it's advertising week. We believe that if you make a really great platform, meaning a mobile website and native app, and really get that right, and everything's lined up, those products can kind of become the face of your brand, and you won't really have to get quite as worried about your advertising. The products will actually become the face of your brand, and really good digital products, and they're rare, can define a great brand by themselves.
Let's get some examples of that, because I always think, there's always somebody and you just see their digital products and you're like, wow, they've just got it. And other times you get so frustrated, for example, using a particular mobile website or mobile app or whatever. And so
Sure.
I think it makes, it's make or break.
Sure. We were ridiculously lucky to partner with Virgin America last year, and we made their mobile website, and I think that actually has become the look and feel of their advertising and their brand, and it's been an amazing project for them, because really they did it right. They did it at the right scale, and what's kind of amazing about that project too is that they now use the branding from the website as their brand. That's their outdoor branding. That's what they're using in the airport. So a great product can really become a brand, and I think a lot of flyers now see the website as part of the value proposition of flying Virgin America.
That's really interesting. I think also what you guys are doing is, it seems to be something that we've been talking about a lot, is the user experience.
Right.
Maximizing the user experience in order to make sure that you don't lose your end consumer at all.
Sure.
So it seems like that's a really big focus for you guys.
Yeah, we find that when people talk about relevance in terms of content, we are also really strong believers in relevance, but we also feel like on mobile, advertising is a little broken. The advertising experience on mobile, the whole form factor, doesn't really work so well, and that's going to evolve over time. But I think the recent increase in ad blocking is just one more reason why brands need to get their platforms right and not rely on advertising. So if you make a good native app at scale, that's a whole other way that you can be in your customer's face and be delivering the relevant content that you're producing.
So you brought up relevance, and I was going to talk
Sure.
about that a little bit anyway. But in terms of building the brand through the digital products, you guys have a slightly different approach to relevance. Everybody's always thinking like, okay, how relevant are these ads
Sure.
to this consumer at the right time, in the right way, in the right place, etc. So you guys have a slightly different approach to the relevance aspect.
Sure. We actually don't think relevance should be defined only by, for example, how much does someone click on a mobile web banner ad. We feel like relevance is more about how can a brand create a service or create an app that's actually relevant to your life and actually adds value and has some utility.
So in terms of making it so that my experience, ultimately going back to the experience element, is making it so my experience is so relevant to me and so easy and so seamless that it becomes
right.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. The more the customer's in control, the more the customer's deciding what they're going to watch and what's relevant to them, the more power they have. So it really forces you as a brand to get your mobile platform right, so you can have that way of connecting too.
Another thing we were talking about is there's a trend you were talking about, which is kind of an anticipating trend. And
Sure.
you said there's certain, some of the really big companies like Google and so on are doing that in a way which is kind of anticipating what the consumer.
Right.
I'm sure you're going to explain it better than if I even try.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's just starting, so you're probably not noticing it. But if you have, do you use iOS or Android?
iOS.
iOS. So iOS is doing this too. Android's a little bit ahead on it. So they're trying to anticipate what you're going to do next. And what that does is it delivers recommendations in context. And it's actually replacing search behavior. And on mobile, search is kind of the top of the funnel. And the native app, again, is sort of like a loyalty club where you actually have someone and you're talking to them. So for a marketer, you really sort of need a great mobile website to still have a strong top of the funnel experience. But you have to watch out for what Google and Apple are doing, because people may no longer be searching for your content the same way. So you have to consider that. Again, I keep going back to platforms and products, but if you make a great product, that's one more way you can connect, and you don't have to be at the whim of whatever algorithm Google is using or whatever algorithm Facebook's using on their feed.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes a ton of sense, and I hope you guys are able to create the kind of digital products that consumers do fall in love with versus ones that make you just frustrated and want to leave. So thank you so much. Good luck with the rest of advertising.
Thanks.
Thank you.